Hi, everybody. I'm Michelle Tennant Nicholson. I'm an international publicist. And my friend Beth instant messaged me recently on Facebook. And she said something about we were at a barbecue, I think last year in 2019 was the Beekeepers
18.
Barbecue.
18, right?
Uh,
2018.
was it 2018?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, girl, what did yeah, because that was my first year beekeeping. Who knows,
Right.
right? Like at this time, like time is crawling. So who knows? Like what year is it, right? Oh yeah, that's right. It's 2020, the year of the pandemic.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm gonna let the two of you talk because y'all, Beth and Josh are now married, and it was something that I said. So I don't even know. I was like, girl, we got to do something. I got to blog about this because I don't even know about this. So go ahead, Beth.
Okay, so we went to the Beekeeper Association picnic, and remember how the person I was with, we just kept on arguing back and forth.
I
And
do.
I'm so over this, blah blah blah, and we were like going back and forth, and you're like, this is how you do it. If you want to meet someone, you need to be blunt, to the point, tell them exactly what you like, what you want, and pretty much no bullshit. Like, just put whatever, be as blunt as you can on your profile when you
Yeah,
online date.
yeah, so I met my husband on Match.com, and one of the
Right?
things I did
Yes.
was blunt for sure. Josh, I don't know if you know this,
Mm-hmm.
but literally, and what do you want? I said, listen, these are my 20 deal breakers. So if
Yes.
you are, half of these and not the other half, don't even waste my time because I don't have the time to waste. And so that that's must have been, and actually my husband is all 20 of those. And so it is interesting, right? It did snare him. Okay, so what did you,
Yeah.
I love this. What did you do next? Oh my God, I need to write a book.
Well, I wanted someone who likes to hike, somebody who I don't remember. I just know it was very blunt. What did I say? What did I pretty much say on mine? It's been such a long time.
Yeah. I
I know it was like beekeeping. You had to
like the outdoors, like kids.
like the outdoors, like children, um, like your own strong individual. You have to be strong in yourself, self-love, and a couple of other things I don't remember. But I only met 5 people through the whole thing. Only 5. One
Wow.
guy was like from Atlanta, and he was like Atlanta's housewife, and he was like super beautiful. And I was like, oh no, I know I couldn't keep up with him. It's just like, no way. And then another guy.
Josh, how does that make you feel? Hold on, right, because my husband and I always say, so we're hilarious. We're like, we're a strong 7. Like that's right. We know we're strong 7s, right?
Yeah,
All right,
awesome.
what else?
Yeah.
And then we'll let
And
Josh talk
so,
about how he received it all. That's hilarious.
yes, and so the next guy, um, he was from Asheville, and he was super cool. He was super sweet, but um, yeah, we weren't on the same page about things. I mean, he just wanted to come and hang out late night, and I wasn't having that. Like, I was like, no. Um, so the next guy was a mushroom farmer from Asheville. He seemed super cool, but then I was like, yeah, no. Because I was just like, no, he kind of looked homeless, and I'm not knocking on homeless people, but he kind of looked homeless. So I was just like, no, thank you. And then another guy, he was super sweet. I'll name his name. His name was Thomas, and he works at Pisgah Inn, and he was so sweet and so super kind. But the time we met, they had that big tragedy there where something happened to one of their people. And so he was trying to work through that, and that didn't fit my life either. So I never let my kids see who I'm dating, because I don't want my kids to think that's what you do. It's a revolving door, and you need to meet people to show that you love yourself. So I happened to be scrolling, and I came across his profile, his profile right there. And I took it to my daughter, and I was like, Grace, look, he looks like he likes to eat granola and hike. Let's click on this. And I clicked on it and we stuck together through a lot. Mm-hmm.
All right, so
Yeah.
Josh, what about Beth? Because so she said, "Hey," and then you saw her list.
Mm-hmm.
How was it for you that she was being so blunt?
I found it refreshing.
Refreshing. That's what I was told. That's so refreshing. Go ahead.
Because a lot of the profiles I saw were cookie cutter. Long walks on the beach. I like to do this. She's like, this is what you need to do. Yeah. So it's completely different than in other profiles that I've seen online anywhere. And I was on quite a few sites.
Yeah. Yes.
That's so fascinating. So how is it now being married? Have you carried over the honesty?
Yes.
Constantly.
For sure.
Even though, and especially when it gets on each other's nerves.
Yes.
Especially, right? I think this is so important to a healthy marriage. So I've been with Shannon now since 2002, and everybody goes, "Oh my God, you guys are always so cute on Facebook and blah, blah, blah." We're still the same, right? Like he saw my list of deal breakers, and I remember my business partner at the time said, "Oh my God, any more? Like, how many more demands are you going to put out in the universe, right?" And I said, "I don't care. It just has to, it just has to reach one person, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And he was all 20. And so he's like, by the way, one of my 20s was like, it was like, I don't know, like 15, adores me, adores me, adores me, adores me, like any Leo would. And, right. And he surprises me even to this day, like every once in a while, he'll go, "I adore you. I adore you. I adore you."
Oh, that's
right.
so
So we're like, I think like that initial, like, coming together. And so we're going to now do tips for online dating, because especially like in a pandemic, people are lonely and they're still looking for love. And I understand that people find love. Okay. Intimacy is possible, but it's only possible through honesty.
right.
So let's see, tips. I say, let the person know your deal breaker so they know what they're dealing with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rather than getting connected and attached to the person, then it's like ripping off a Band-Aid if it doesn't work. It's always like, so painful. So just let it all hang out. The second thing is when don't let it go too long in the conversation. Even though we have the COVID and all that stuff, man, you can just fall in love with a fantasy if you don't meet.
Right.
I was watching that in the pandemic recently. I was watching that Love is Blind, and the problem is, right, that series. Problem is that you start to then fall in love with a fantasy rather than the real person. And then the last thing is that even when it hurts, I had a friend ask me for a loan. I'm gonna tell one on myself. This was like way into our marriage, so just word to the wise, the two of you, because I know you're newly married. And my husband was against giving the friend, it was like $1,500, $1,700, something like that. And I went to the bank and was trying to get the loan by myself without him, even though I was married at this point, right? And I was like, I'll probably get the loan, it's no big deal. It was the bank manager here in Hendersonville. She's like, she goes, let me say something. She goes, "I could probably get fired over this. Do not do this without your husband's alignment, because and then it's really financial infidelity. So it's not just cheating, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's also cheating on little things like money or, just not having integrity in your life and so forth. So those are my three. How about the two of you? Beth, let's go with you first. What are your tips to the people watching this?
So I'm with you there. Don't look for a superhero, because once again, that's a fantasy, because we're human and we all have our flaws. And you need to reveal yourself at all times with the person you think you want to be with. Because if you don't, it's going to be a big problem. Financially, same here. We don't make any moves without talking to each other. We've been together and married for a year. We finally put all of our bills in a shared account where both of our checks goes into, and we paid our bill. Now that was really hard.
It is hard. We did same for us. It was hard.
Yeah,
We didn't do
right.
it.
Because it's like, okay, well, I got my bills paid, so I have money. It's like, well, you just out of luck because I need those shoes, or I need that extra money for my wine, and it can't work like that. It
Yeah.
can't work like that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Another big thing is family, because you will have in-laws that do not like you, and that's okay. It's okay because you didn't marry the in-law, you married the husband or the wife. So you can't be hurt over the fact that they don't like you. They're human too. Everybody has a personality, and sometimes it just don't work out, and that's okay. And my other one is cleanliness.
All right, say more about this.
That's important. That's very important. It's important. Yes.
So take a shower. Okay.
Yes,
So
it's very
it is important, and I don't know because we're in Western North Carolina. There's a little bit hikers, granola peas,
Right.
whatnot. Sometimes we can be a little like I used to be a whitewater raft guide, and we can be like a little funky on not taking all the showers all the time. Right? We're just getting off the river. It is funny because my husband will say, like when I'm making like I look nice or whatever, he's like, "Oh, you look really nice," but he'll never say that I look or smell bad.
right.
But he is a
Right.
little more groomed than I am, and he'll be like, I'll always be like nestling into bed, ready for cuddle time, and he'll be like, "Ooh, baby, you were on the river today, or are you gonna go take a shower?"
Right. It's like, okay.
Cute, like he'll be like, "Oh," like he'll blame it on the river though. He'll be like, "Oh, baby, the river has a lot of germs and stuff," and and not too many in too many couples is the girl the dirty bird, but because
Right.
I was a raft guide, I'm like, it's all right. But it's true, they do not like funk.
Right.
Okay, that's
Right.
hilarious. Be clean. Like the secret to a long marriage is be
Smell good.
smell good. It makes a difference.
I mean, you don't have to put on a whole bunch of perfume or cologne, but just, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to smell healthy.
Smell good, but smell good to the other person.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, because that's different, right? Did you ever
Yes.
notice, like, when you would break up with somebody, like their natural scent was gross to you? Did you ever notice that?
Yes.
What is that about, right? Like the pheromones change or something,
Right.
right? That's
Mhm.
so weird.
When you're getting close to the breakup, you're like, ew, you stink. Ugh.
All right,
Get
Josh,
away.
what are your tips? Tell us, man. What are your tips? I should have had Shannon here. He's mountain biking. Yeah, he doesn't even know we're doing this. Later he's gonna be like, "That's weird that you did that video." All right, go ahead, Josh.
So, work on yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by that? Say a little more about that.
Be okay being alone with yourself.
Yes.
If you're not okay with yourself, then how are you going to be okay with someone else?
That's true.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Be open, be honest, be sensitive when it's needs.
Yeah.
Guys have a fear of showing their sensitive side. Don't be afraid of that because the right person won't care.
Right.
Right. That's true. And if they do care, that's not the right person.
Exactly.
That's a sign.
Yeah.
Going back, you be honest with all of yourself, your fears, your hopes, everything.
Mm-hmm.
How long was it? Hey, Josh, how long was it? Did you know she was the one?
We hugged.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we met each other after talking 2 hours, 3 hours.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got together quick then. You talked once. And
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Same with us. We talked and then met. We didn't like draw it out like an email.
No.
You can't figure out
7:30 the next morning.
Yeah, we met 7:30 the next morning in the park, and we walked the park.
Yep.
Yeah.
Before work.
Yeah. And the first thing he said when he seen me was, "Are you gonna give me a hug?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Okay, sure." And we walked around like we were like best friends. And you know what he told me? I have a date later on tonight. I was just like, All right. Okay. Well, if it works out for you, good. We can still be friends. Yeah, it was nice talking to you.
I did the same thing, Josh. Because when you're doing something like Match or any of those services, sometimes you just got to keep your options open. And I went on that date, and then it further brought me back to the person. Is that what you found too?
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. You're like, oh, this person. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh, it's fascinating. Well, good. And so, how is it like being married in the pandemic? Like, that's probably challenging.
Well, I was out of work for 3 weeks, and Josh was still going into work.
Mhm.
And then Josh came home, and I was only missing 2 days a week. And it was kind of frustrating because I have my cleaning schedule for the house and laundry and everything like that. But now that I go out the house and Josh is home all day, I guess our roles have reversed. Like, so during the week, Josh keeps the house clean. Josh, he does all the laundry. He gets our meals prepped, and I come in and I go behind him and finish up cooking. And he pretty much keeps the house clean.
She's the best. Much better.
Yeah, it's interesting because we do the role thing too. Like right now, he was always like, excited that I could cook. And now I'm taking care of my 84-year-old mom. She's here in the pandemic. And so, and he's been really great because, for the most part, she's just a third roommate. But if she and I get into a tiff like we did when I was a teenager, then he becomes more like a mediator. And so that's been kind of nice. And so, yeah, well, I am interested to see if anybody hears our tips and is then further motivated. So if you hear our tips and then you get married, let us know. I'm going to put this on YouTube, and
For sure.
know what's going to happen in the future, in the year. So I'm going to stop the recording. Any final words?
Have fun. Be blessed. Finding your partner.
Josh?
Best of luck to you. Just go with your heart.
Yeah, I'll go with your heart. Let's see. What's my final word? I saw a commercial the other day, human.kind, from the Kind bars. And I love that, right? Like, first be human, do that self-discovery and have compassion for yourself, and then just be kind, especially if you're turning somebody down. Just have compassion that you're turning them down. Have fun though.